I would like to ask Mr. Jan Badowski from Poland to hold his presentation now.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a vital topic for us to talk about the minorities in Poland and the Polish diaspora. First of all, we have to divide the topic of the Polish diaspora into two groups. First are the Poles living abroad. I'll tell you what's about. And the second one, it has a special name in Poland. It's called Polonia. It's the group that migrated somewhere, and the other one is that didn't change a place of living, and just the border adjustments after the Second World War or before the Second World War changed. Polonia are the people that left as immigrants, and their descendants. They are mostly in the United States. It's about 10 million people there with Polish origin, Polish roots. It's Germany, about 3 million people. We spoke with the Turkish friends that they are not considered a minority in Germany. It's Brazil and Argentina. It's about 1.5 million to 2 million people. France, Canada, about 1 million each. And in many, many other places all around the world. It's our history that made it happen like that. And the other one is the Poles living abroad. It's Belarus, about 1 million. It's Lithuania, about 200,000, we say so. It's 150,000 in Ukraine, still moving to Poland now. And we are getting them into Poland. We estimate that slightly half of them speak Polish, but all of them are aware of their Polish roots. And second, we consider Polonia and Poles as loyal citizens of their countries. That's not a problem that we want to invade or something. There were some trolls, internet trolls, that said if Putin invades Ukraine, then we should invade it from the other side and take Lviv or something. No way of this. We're not going to invade Lithuania and other places. We are a peaceful country, and thus we treat all the minorities that are in our country very good. And that's what we would like to have in the other countries that have our minority. There are several problems in that. It's about speaking the language or learning the language in the schools of the system. It's about double names of the places. It's about grants for minority events or folk dancing and so on and so on. It sometimes is a problem, but good friends of us are the Hungarians, the Czechs, the Romanians that help the minority to act. And the history of the Polish diaspora, I have to say a few words about it. Poland was once a very big country, and we have people of Polish descent in Latvia, which is very far from us, in Romania, northern Romania, in Moldova, in Russia, and so on and so on. Then in the 18th century, Poland was erased from the map. We were invaded by three parts. We were out of the map. Some of the people that were trying to fight had to get out of the place. So they found a place in the US, in Canada, in France. That's the first big migration from Poland. And then we tried to regain the independence a few times. Every generation tried to do it. During the 123 years we tried, and every time we failed. So every time, every 20, 30 years, a group of Poles flew somewhere. Some of them flew to Argentina and Brazil because there was a chance to get some land and to cultivate it. So they moved. That's why we have over 2 million people of Polish roots there. Then after 1920, which, and after the First War and stopping the Bolshevik invasion in 1920, which was helped by Polonia, who came back to Poland to fight. That's a fact, that they collected money for the army, and they formed an army, very well trained army. They trained in Canada, in France, and they came back and helped to regain independence. And then we we got our country back. We were very happy. We started to work with the diaspora. We established a big organization called Światpol. It's called like World Pol, such a mix, and it was a governmental organization managing the diaspora things. The upper house of the parliament, the Senate, was the keeper of the Polonia, and they were in touch every time. And then the Second World War ended everything. Poles fought in many places all over the world. And after the Second World War, when we got on the wrong side of the Iron Curtain, it appeared that they couldn't get back to Poland. They stayed in many, many places. It was Australia, it was South Africa, it was India, it was the UK. For example, in the UK, we had the government of the Republic of Poland in exile, which lasted till 1989, when the democratic Poles were in Poland. They just gave the insignia, and it was the legal continuation of the Polish state. Then in the 80s, there was Solidarność, you know, all that. There was a part that had to flee, and they flew to the places that they could, to the US, to Canada, France, Germany, Sweden, Australia, and it's about 1 million people that flew in these times. Then, 1989, it all changed. We're very happy to regain the independence. And then we joined the EU in 2004, and that was another wave of migration, economic migration. It wasn't of any, let's say, political persecution or something, just to seek better life. We saw the salaries, so that's why they decided to move. Now, the contacts and the help for the Polish diaspora is taken by the plenipotentiary for the Polish diaspora in the government, which is my boss. It wasn't like that all the time, because someone, I don't know who, decided that, as in the first Poland after the First World War, the Senate will take care of it. The Senate is not the part of the execution that had any power. It was just like the parliament, but they had money, and money for the funds for Polonia was one of the biggest ways to, let's say, control it and model it somehow. Then in 2019, we just changed how it works, and we said it's not the way it should be. So we decided to take it back to the government, to make it a part of the government, yeah, which is rather normal for every country. But we had such a situation through the years that there was Senate with the money and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other ministries that weren't cooperating at all. Last year, from 2019, it happened that the Senate and the Parliament and the government are in opposition. So imagine how it would work if they just fight for everything. So we have the plenipotentiary. He is in the Chancellery of the Prime Minister. It's about the position. There was a person for this in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but it was under Secretariat of State, so it was just a lower person. So now it has some power, and we're trying to build it, rebuild it, and make a let's say, a system that will work with all the ministries. We have the interministerial group for Polish Diaspora and Poles abroad, which consists of all the ministries. There wasn't something like that through all the years. I don't know why. I have the chance to build it, to rebuild it after 2019. So I'm thinking, how could it work in these days? But the ministries worked without any cooperation. And now we are working on a program, a government program for cooperation with Polish Diaspora, Poles abroad. It will last for 10 years, so there will be some landmarks to make a long-term scope of all the activities. The most important support instrument is the grant program, which is made by my department. It's money for the organizations all around the world to make them work. Yeah? It's about Polish schools, the weekend schools. It's about media intended for Polonia and made by Polonia also. It's about events and that are talking about Polish history and culture. It's about charitable assistance because lots of people, Polish people, especially in the East, have some needs, humanitarian needs, let's say. So we have to help them, and the Polish society helps them, bringing them charity help. The program takes place once a year, so everyone knows when to apply for the money. We have developed a multi-year financing formula because it was a problem that you have to work to wait every year for money. So now we're giving it for 2 or 3 years, so they don't have to worry for the next year. And we're developing a special program for summer holidays for young people from outside Poland. It's not birthright, we don't have such big money, but it's for the children that is using and studying Polish language. The funds are distributed through the NGOs that are based in Poland. It's legally and fiscally reasonable, and the support is transported this way. I have a problem with this one because I think it's better to have the partner nearer us, not between us. There is a big NGO, and some after 1919 there became a sort of oligopoly of 3 or 4 big NGOs that are positioning them as those who are giving grants. They are just re-granting it from the Polish government, but we cannot avoid them, so we are trying to change the rules so that they at least say that the money is from the Polish government, because it used to be a problem in the times. We have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with the diplomatic and consular missions all around the world. We have Polish consultative councils that are composed of most important organizations, and they cooperate with the consulates. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has some small grants for the NGOs in the countries. It's quite a flexible instrument, so that they can do something that they invent. And they have, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has a special program for construction, purchase and renovation of real estate and homes, let's say Polish homes all around the world. We have programs in Ministry of Culture and Natural Heritage because there is a lot of Polish heritage all around the world. It's about museums, archives that are in the US, in the UK, in France, in many places, in Lithuania too. We have lots of our heritage churches and houses and real estate in the east before the borders changed. So that we established in 2018 the National Institute of Polish Cultural Heritage abroad, called Polonika, and they are still renovating our real estate there. There is a problem with Ukraine now because most of the places were in Ukraine or in Belarus, and it's no point in doing it now. We have the Ministry of Education and Science with the Center of Development of Polish Education Abroad. We have about 1,000 extramural schools, weekend schools, all around the world. We say that it's about 250,000 people and children that are learning Polish language, Polish history and culture during these classes. And this institution gives textbooks and teaching materials free to all those schools. We have the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange, so that we have scholarships to come to Poland and to study in Poland, though we have a program for people who are outside Poland, who we want to stay there. Just like Lithuania, we give scholarships to study in Lithuania. We could take them to Poland, but there is a slight chance that they won't get back to Lithuania. So we say, we need you there. Lithuania needs you. So study there and you'll be our agent there. Now, agent is not a good... It's not a good word, but our people there. We have a special bureau in the Chancellery of the President, because the last president we have now, is very active with the Polonia. Every time he visits any place, he meets with Polonia and has some nice talks. And I was thinking, what can I say that wasn't here? We have a TV channel dedicated to Polonia and the Polish Diaspora. It's called TVP Polonia. It was established in 1993, and in 2019 we established TVP Vilno. It means Vilnius, which is for the Poles that are living in Lithuania, Latvia, and Belarus. Though we have a special channel also for Belarus, because we are next to them and they don't have a chance to watch normal TV. So we have Belsat TV for them with True, yeah, because they have their own channels, which might not be very objective, yeah. And the instrument Karta Polaka, we talked about it. It was based on the Karta Węgra of the Hungarian card. We copied it, so now the Serbs are copying it, but it's nice for us that everybody knows Karta Polaka. Yeah? So it's a good idea developed. It's like that you have to show your Polish roots. You have to declare that you are of Polish origin, and you have to have a basic knowledge of the Polish language. And then when you get this card, you can get to Poland and have a place of residence without any big problems. And after 1 year of residence, you gain Polish citizenship automatically. It's not about you have to apply for it. It's after 1 year, you just gain the passport. And it works very good. We got lots of people from Ukraine, from Belarus, who use this way to get the citizenship. And because it was such a success, we changed the rules. And because it was, first of all, it was for the people that couldn't have double passports in the former Soviet Union. And then we changed it. And now you can get this Karta Polaka all around the world. We're thinking about Brazil, Argentina, USA, because not everybody has Polish passport or Polish citizenship, so they have a chance to get it. But if they move to Poland, they will gain citizenship. And I get something about elections, because yesterday we talked about elections. We give a right to vote for all the people who are citizens, and it's normal for us to elect the president, the Senate. It's about 400,000 people voting abroad, in the consulates, in the embassies, or by post. So it works. We were thinking about establishing one or two MPs or senators, but there might be a big debate. Why should it be from the US or from the West or from the East or from Australia? So we decided not to do it yet. Maybe after a few years we'll get back to this idea, because the variety of all the places that Poles live and act is very, very broad. So thank you very much. I hope it wasn't very long.